You're listening to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. This is the program called The Wonderful World of Wardini Books. And as always, it's our pleasure to have in the studio the wonderful Lou from Wardini Books in Havelock North. How you going, Lou?
Morning, Ken. I'm doing very well.
It's going to be a crack of a day as we record this program, heading for about 33 degrees.
Is it?
Can you believe it?
I can believe it, but I'm not necessarily looking forward to it.
Got air conditioning in your shop?
Not in Napier.
Really?
That's where I'm heading today.
Goodness,
We're working on that.
Boiling over there.
Yeah, we've got lots of fans going.
Good on you. Anyway, without further ado, 3 more great books, and we're going to reverse the process today. We're going to start off with the books for the older people.
The books for the grown-ups.
And so the first one,
No, after you.
That's all right. we change it around. Kingdom
keep
Tide.
It fresh. Keep it fresh. Kingdom Tide by Ry Curtis. It's got a shout out from Roddy Doyle on the front that says it's the best novel he's read in a long time, so that's quite a good one. But we'll see what I think, shall we, as well?
Yes, we shall.
So it's a book of 2 narrators, really, 2 protagonists, and it starts with Cloris Waldrip. And she is a Southern American elderly lady, and she's gone on this trip of a lifetime with her husband, Mr. Waldrip, and that's how she addresses him, that's how she refers to him in public. And they're on a little sightseeing airplane tour, just her and Mr. Waldrip in the pilot, and the plane goes down and crashes, and the pilot and Mr. Waldrip die, and she's the only survivor. So she's in the middle of the Montana wilderness, and she has to try and survive. So there's poor old Cloris, and you get her story of what happens, knowing that she survived because she's telling it from some years later. And then you've got Deborah Lewis, who's the park ranger, one of the park rangers, who is the one that refuses to call off the search. They've heard Cloris on a radio somewhere, just one time, and she's like, no, that old lady's out there somewhere. I know she's still alive, and I'm going to find her. But Deborah's a really surreal character. Those bits are quite surreal. Cloris's are quite funny because of the way that she narrates it, and she's been such a sheltered old lady, and then all of a sudden she's having to survive in the bushes, and she's seeing things, and she's sure there's some hooded stranger following her through the bushes. And then Deborah is a raging alcoholic, really. She's had a messy divorce, and in her bottle that you would think would have a nice warming coffee or something in it, now she's got red wine in there, and she's when you count it up, she must be getting through about 7 bottles a day. Wow. And she's still driving her big old truck around the mountain roads and stuff. But anyway, she's the one. It is quite surreal, that part, and then it's how those 2 things eventually mould together.
She sounds like a great character.
Deborah or Cloris?
The park ranger.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's still very determined, even though she's a complete wreck. So yeah.
Happy ending?
It's got a really interesting ending. Yeah. So it's a real thinking book.
The guy on the front rated it. What did you rate it?
I think because of its strangeness, I always think about how you can sell a book. And if you want something really different that's going to make you think, then it would be, a really good one. Good one for book clubs to talk about and stuff like that.
Indeed, and the next book is called Here in the Real World, where we are right now.
Are we though?
Yes.
Are we though? Or is it just a dream?
I could be one person imagining you.
You could. Or we could be in the Matrix.
We could.
We could be plugged in. Anyway. That's our philosophy ethics show for later. So this one's by Sarah Pennypacker, and it's for readers of about 9 years and up. Beautiful cover done by John Classen. And it's about Ware. And Ware is a little boy who's 11 and a half, and he's gone off to stay with his grandmother for the summer because his parents are working double shifts so they can buy their house that they're renting. And there's quite a light, nice tone to it. But Ware is quite the introverted kid, and they're always wanting him to have this meaningful social interaction, and hang out with other kids and go and join in. And he's not a joiner, he's just not. And nobody really gets it. The parents don't get it. They just want him to be happy. And he would be happy by himself, thank you. Yes. But no, he's not allowed to be. So something happens to Grandma, who's called, her nickname is Big Deal, and you never really find out why, and I just think that's great.
Big Deal.
She's Big Deal. And Big Deal has a fall and ends up in the hospital, and then he has to go to the dreaded summer camp. He has to go on the bus every day and spend time interacting with other kids who are not his cup of tea at all.
Can't imagine anything worse.
Oh, no, exactly. You know, for introverted people, that is just the worst. So he sees a little girl. He just happens to see her. There's an abandoned church that's been half knocked down and a garden, and she is gardening. She's creating a beautiful little paradise of papaya plants, and she's a right little slip of a scruffy thing. And anyway, it's about her, and he bunks off the summer camp and goes to help her and do things in the churchyard. And it's about all sorts of things then. It's about, she's called Jolene. It's about where Jolene's from, and she's quite a disadvantaged kid. So there's that social issues in there as well. And about the connection that they make. And there's all sorts of things, and nods to nature and conservation and just letting people be who they are.
So 9 and up, does that mean adults might enjoy it as well?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I'm actually a grown-up.
And our last book we're going to look at is one called Spearo.
This is brilliant. This is Mary Ann Scott. She's a Havelock North author. This is her, I want to say, fourth. All her books have been shortlisted for the New Zealand Book Awards for children and young adults. And this is that sort of 9 to 12 age range. And it's a spearfishing adventure. So it's fiction, and it's set mostly up around Mahia. And then when they're at home, I would imagine they're kind of around here.
Yeah.
But Sean is, he's just come over from Africa. I want to say Zimbabwe, I think he's emigrated from. And he's lonely and he's homesick. And it's just him and his mum. And something's gone off on their farm, and they've left and come to New Zealand. And he's trying to fit in and he's trying to make friends. And there's a really friendly kid at school called Mason. And Mason goes spearfishing. And he's got a single father and a nasty sister. Yeah. Sister Nicole is horrible, and she's horrible to Sean when he visits, and Sean says something unforgivable to her, and it's not a good relationship. So then it's really about Sean has never done spearfishing before or diving, but he overcomes fears because he wants to be part of this family, and he wants the friendship that they're offering him, apart from Nicole. And just about the dangers then that are involved with that sport, but also the adventure.
Sounds exciting.
And it's really exciting, yeah. So that's a great one, and a great one for readers that want that adventure.
Indeed, and all of these books are available at Wardini Books. Where are you situated?
We are situated at 16 Tomato Road in Havelock North and 44 Hastings Street in Napier.
As always, our pleasure, Lou. You look after yourself. Talk to the same time, same place next time.
Cool, thanks, Ken.